I remember this one time I went for a job in a petrol station. I was about 17 years old, just left college, had no idea what I wanted to do, but I just needed some money coming in. So I applied at this petrol station. When I got there, he told me I am not old enough to sell cigarettes and alcohol. And I was thinking, well, why would you accept my application when I've got my date of birth on my CV? Anyway, there was a Subway in the petrol station, you know, when they've got the mini concessions in the actual store. And he said, we've got a job opening there for part-time. It was similar to what I was looking at. And I thought, you know what, I'll do Subway for a bit. I need a job. So then he gave me the uniform. And I went into the toilets, I put on the apron, put on the cap, and I just looked in the mirror and I started laughing my head off. It was hilarious. Wearing the hat is... I just couldn't imagine myself doing it, and I put the hat on and I was just laughing my head off. Anyway, I thought, we'll give this job a go. And I went into the back and we went into the fridge and he gave me the task of making tuna, yeah? And anyone who works at Subway will know the tuna comes in massive vacuum sealed packs. Massive silver packs, vacuum sealed like this. And it's like a massive slab. So I opened the packet and I put this tuna into a bowl and you had to mix it with the mayo. And this tuna was ice cold. I had gloves on, but the tuna was ice cold. Anyway, I finished that mini little shift. It was for about 4 hours. And I left and never contacted him again. I thought, I cannot do this job. It is not for me. I am not working for nobody. I am not wearing no hat. So then I started being an entrepreneur. And I didn't actually fall into entrepreneurship because I wanted to, even though I did want to, kind of. I didn't really know it at the time, but it was because I couldn't get a job anywhere. And the jobs that were on offer, like Subway at the time, I didn't want to do that shit. So then I started trying to be an entrepreneur, and it turned out I was pretty good at it, and I started making money pretty fast. And look, I've never actually experienced having a job. So I've always had my time, my freedom, not answering to anybody. And because I got into it at a quite early age, it made me quite comfortable with it all. And it made me quite confident and comfortable with making money. And it's quite obvious to me the characteristics that you need to actually work for yourself. You won't believe how many people I've spoken to that want to start their own business. When you're an entrepreneur and you go around and everybody's not, they all have jobs, the majority of those people don't want to work in those jobs. You can see it in their voice, you can see it in their eyes. And they're always asking you about it, but the problem is they never take action. So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 steps that anybody can do to start your own business this year. Now, first things first, what I would recommend, this is the thing that twists everybody up. If only everybody knew how to get their heads around this, everybody would be in a much better position and have much more confidence to go start that business finally. And that is living below your means. And I know what you're thinking, well, Theo, I don't want to live below my means. I want to buy a designer t-shirt. Well, listen, you either want it or you don't, right? But the business I was getting into, I needed a lot of cash for the stock. And I needed cash just to do my daily essentials. And I just had no money. I never had any money from a job to invest. So I had to create that money from somewhere. Now, there's only 2 ways you're going to generate more money. You can earn more or you can spend less. Well, you can spend less easier than you can earn more. And what I did was I drove both to the absolute maximum. Now, I'm not suggesting to do that. The reason why I did that is because I needed so much cash to get into the business I wanted to get into. And I was very tight. I was very tight when I was building my first business. But you do need to live below your means. You need to be able to get some cash at the end of the month to invest in your business or save a certain amount to have a time period of starting a business. Because the thing is, a business is going to take a lot of money and you are not going to get paid for a long time. So, with that being said, the more money that you have, the more time that you can put into the business. Just imagine you're going to work every day for someone you don't like, you're putting so much effort in, you're so stressed, you've got a boss talking to you, telling you to do X, Y, and Z, you're working hard, 5 days a week, you come home and you're exhausted. Well, what could you do if you had 6 months to do your own business? Look, guys, we are in the opportunity of a lifetime with this little device right here. Anybody can now start their own business with this. You can find proof of concept for any style of business pretty quickly by just testing stuff with organic content. It's even the playing field. And what that means is you can actually sell a product or sell a service without putting any money into it. And that puts you in a good position. But the thing is, what you need to do, you need to invest a lot of time up front. Now, if you had a massive period of time, instead of giving that to a boss or to a career you don't want to get into, imagine putting that into yourself and see where you'd get. So by living below your expenses, this is not a forever thing. This has the sole purpose of generating enough money for you to just breathe a little bit, to not everything feel on top. And plus, when you start living below your expenses, what you start doing is you start getting a lot more resourceful. Now, resourcefulness is one of the major skills I earned at a very, very young age. I will just give you an example of how resourceful I had to be. This is probably overkill, but I did it anyway, and I'm going to tell you about it. So when I first started out, I was doing market stalls. I was selling eggs on market stalls, yeah? I had an egg stall. And I used to go to the market on the weekends, I used to do deliveries, and I used to sell them. Now, I used to earn a good money on a Saturday. That's why I love doing it, because I could earn more than in any job I could possibly do. I was earning more hourly rate than any of my friends at the time. And it was a good hustle. It was a really good hustle. But what I was trying to do with that, I was trying to squeeze as much money out of it as possible. Now, I was collecting coins all day. And the thing is, when you're collecting coins all day, you get the special edition coins. And you can go take those coins and sell them for, maybe sell a 50p piece for £2, £5 on eBay. Like, guys, you might be watching this and thinking, this guy's crazy. But look, when you're broke and you're young and you need the cash to get it from somewhere and you've got time on your side, you do these things. If you're young enough, it makes sense. And it was that resourcefulness that actually got me to the point when I could take all my cash and I didn't have to go get a job. I could start my own business and be successful with it, because even when I started earning a little bit of money, what you see online now is everybody's flexing, everybody's going on trips, everybody's buying designer stuff, but nobody's putting the work in. Like, they go earn a little bit of money and they go spend it all. That's why it never accumulates to anything serious. Spend below and live below your means. 90% of stuff that you're buying for people on the internet you don't even like. And you see this all the time. People go and spend and buy these things because they don't even know what to spend the money on. But the thing is, if you have a business, if you do this for a certain amount of time and you have a business there, you've always got that thing to invest in. And then you're making the decision as a business owner, well, I can go spend £100 on a t-shirt, or I can go invest £100 into my business. And when you invest £100 into your business, sometimes it gives you 150 back, sometimes it gives you 200 back. So then in reality, that item that you've gone and bought, that has cost you 150, 200. That's the way I used to look at it. I used to not even buy clothing. I used to wear gym clothing all the time because it was cheaper. You don't have to do this. I was too crazy with it, but this system worked for me. But definitely live below your means. And what you're going to hear online is, saving the Starbucks ain't going to make you rich. Well, let me tell you something, pal. Starbucks, if you're eating Starbucks and buying Starbucks every single day and you are broke, you are an idiot. An absolute idiot. And the people saying that have never been broke before, because if you are flat broke and you're trying to make something work with your life and you're starting from nothing and you're not from a rich family and you can't go borrow the money, you spending what, £30 a week if you're buying Starbucks every day? Well, that's £30 that you need for your business or to survive. So what it shows is, it shows poor discipline. Now, I had to go extreme because how much money I will put in my business. But if you're trying to do an online business or a YouTube channel or something like that, it's going to be different. But it's about getting some discipline on your spending and reallocating that money into your business and reallocating that money into your future, rather than just wasting the cash. Because wasting the cash ain't going to get you nowhere. Now, one thing I want to make very clear, this is a disclaimer. Money spent on experiences is not a waste of money. You can go on holiday with your friends, you can go take a trip somewhere, you can go stay somewhere nice. That's not a waste, because it's an experience and you can come back more refreshed. So even when I was in real hustle mode, like I would always go on holiday, I would always go on that trip, because those things are an investment into yourself, and it's about investing in your mindset and seeing the world. Now, I definitely, didn't at the beginning, yeah? But even when I was having money troubles, I made sure I went and did those trips just for the inspiration. So don't live absolutely below your means and not let yourself have any fun, but just get serious about what you're spending on. And when you start getting that business in mind, your priorities are going to change, because you're not going to want to waste the money because you want your business to grow more. And that leads on to number 2, which is understanding your time, your knowledge, and your finances. Like, when I was broke, I didn't have any knowledge and I didn't have any money. But what I did have was a lot of time. Now, the thing is with knowledge, money, and time, you can leverage each of these off of each other. So with the money, you can buy knowledge and you can buy time because you can pay people smarter than you. You can buy a course, you can get employees to help you grow. And with time, you can trade time for money. If you're at the beginning, you just need to get a job. And you can trade time for knowledge. So by identifying which one you've got the most of, you might be a busy professional at work and you've got decent savings, but you've got no time. Well, what do you need to do in that instance? Maybe you need to get a course or maybe you need to get a mentorship. By understanding and taking a toll on where you are and which each of these that you need to create more of is going to put you in a good position to actually focus on that thing. Because again, you might have loads of money saved, you might have no time and you might have no knowledge. Well, what you can do with that is you can either pay for the knowledge or you can create more time. Now, how do you create more time? Well, work on night times, work on weekends. Some people want to start a business and they're in a 9 to 5 and they don't work on a night time and they don't do any work over the weekend. So that business is never going to happen, is it? But if you're looking at yourself and thinking, well, I need to create more time, how can I do it? Weekends, on a night, when you're taking a bank holiday, work that time on your business. These are the little pockets. And what you'll find is any entrepreneurs are not taking bank holidays off. They're not taking 3-day long weekends off. They're working because they know that's an opportunity to grow. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm not advising to do that, but that's what you'll find. If you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to work on employee schedules, it don't mix, does it? Because that's for the employees. They're the holidays set up for the employees. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to do that. But by understanding where your time, knowledge, and finances are, you can really manipulate and trade those off of each other to create more, to put you in a good enough position to actually start that business. Because let's say you have no time and you have money. Well, if you then create more time and swap that for knowledge, over the course of a few months, when you've still got that money and now you've got the knowledge and all you need to do is create the time, well, if you've got enough money, you can quit your job and you've got the knowledge to start the business. See how that works? So by identifying those and focusing on each and working on each, that gives you the target in mind and it's going to set your positioning up to be able to go start that business, whatever you decide to do. Number 3 is the rent needs paying daily. Now, guys, you're going to have to work your ass off in the beginning. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. I'm sorry to tell you, if you don't like working, then the game, that's not the game for you. But you've got to do the work on a daily basis. Am I saying you have to work 7 days a week? No. What I did was, in the beginning, I worked 7 days a week on my own in a dark room, and it was depressing, and I got depressed, and I destroyed all my social skills. Don't do that. Don't do that. I was too obsessed for my own good, and it didn't do me any good. So do not do that. What I used to do is, I used to focus on the outcomes and the bigger picture. I used to always fantasize and dream about where I wanted to be. And look, I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. I used to fantasize and think about the outcomes and see how my lifestyle would be. And the problem is when you're focusing on the massive picture and the outcomes and you're trying to skip 100 steps, what you end up doing is you just end up making yourself busy with searching for it online or watching content that is basically mental masturbation, watching motivational videos and just business binging YouTube content. Well, the only thing that you can actually control is your daily output. So what are you doing every day aligned with the business that you want to start? If you want to be a YouTube channel and end up making money off YouTube long term, well, if you're at a job right now, how often are you posting YouTube videos? Can you do it every week? Are you doing it every day? Are you planning that into your schedule to do consistently? Because if you're wanting that to be a reality one day, then you need to build that while you're in that job. Or build that while you're in college or university or whatever you're doing. But just focus on the daily output. You need to get to the point when you've seen the first win. And when I say first win, I'm on about that first sale. The first sale on Shopify, the first client that you've got, the first YouTube video that pops off. Because once you get that first one, that first online money, that first sale from your business, you know it's real. It can be £20, it can be 20 quid, $20, whatever. But once you see that first win, that's what gives you the confidence. You're like, wow, this works. And, you know, once you see those first few sales, you're like, wow, I'm really onto something here. I remember my first big day. And this wasn't even online, by the way, but I went to a trade show. I was about 19 years old. I had a silver van. I think it was a Peugeot Boxster. Oh no, it was a Citroen Berlingo from 2008. And I rode this van everywhere. I hustled in this van. I put 50,000 miles on this van in the first year of driving. And I would just hustle, do all different types of side hustles in this van. I used to do absolute miles in it. And I took this van to my first trade show and I priced everything lower because it was cash prices. And I just thought, well, I'm saving the money on the fees. Anyway, long story short, I ended up doing £2,700 at this trade show, £2,700. Now, as an 18-year-old who doesn't come from money, who's never seen that before, never heard of anybody even making £1,000 in a day, never mind £2,700 in a day. And look, I didn't even do the profit and loss account. I might not even made money out of that. But it's just the fact that I saw a decent amount of money made in a day. And that's what flicked the switch. And, you know, I took that. And then the next time I went to that same show, I did £10,000. And then the one after that, I did 17 or 18, I believe. Those things led off that first win. And that first win was just accumulated daily actions. So all you need to do is accumulate those daily actions and focus on day by day in order to get that first win. And that's where you're going to get the taste from. And that's where you're going to build the confidence from. A lot of this is just the confidence, guys. Like, I'm confident in working for myself because I've done it for so long. I'm just used to it. I'm willing to try, and I know it's real because I've done it myself. But the thing is, people just get a job straight out of college, and then they never even realize the potential. So that's what it's about, really. It's about realizing your potential and just getting that first win. Like, if everyone could feel that first win, that little bit of success from something they've tried on their own for once, it's just a game changer forever. So you don't have to strive for the massive business success and 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month. You don't have to strive for 1 million followers, but you've just got to try and strive for that first win. And once you get that first win, you will be hooked. Now, the final point I want to mention is just start testing with zero expectations. Now, I cannot tell you how many days I've had to work for free because I've tried and I've failed and I've miscalculated something. I've gone to a trade show and it's flopped, and I've spent all the money on the stock and the cars and the diesel and the accommodation and staff and all these things, and they've just flopped. Or how many times I've made social media content and nothing sold. How many times I've run a sale and nothing sold. How many times I've run paid ads and just lost the money. How many times I've bought stock and it's not sold. How many times I've gone to try and do something in the business and it's not worked. But the thing is, when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to have zero expectations, because what you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of things that fail back to back to back to back. Sometimes you go on a mad losing streak and it's sticky to get out of. If you run a sale for your business and you're expecting £50,000 worth of sales and you come up short at 30,000 or 10,000 or nothing, the thing is, people set these goals that are not actually linked to anything, where they've just been wishfully thinking or wishfully exaggerating what they could do. And when they don't reach that, that's when they get demotivated and then they quit a lot of the times. So it's just about having zero expectations all the time. That's going to allow you to try and quit, try and quit, try and quit, try and quit. Now, with these social media businesses, people posting content, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, this is the perfect example of trying and quitting and having zero expectations. These guys who are big on social media posted a lot of videos that did nothing, was embarrassed, poor quality, poor messaging, shy on camera, and it just didn't do anything and it flopped. But the thing is, they kept at it with zero expectations. And when you can turn into the type of person who has zero expectations, who can keep trying and trying and trying, failing and failing and failing and not giving up, that's going to be the most important skill in having your own business. And once you really crack that down, that's where you're going to actually be able to do it. And that's what's going to separate you from employees or business owner. So I hope you found them steps helpful. Look, subscribe to the channel. I hope those helped you out. Please let me know how you get on. I hope you can start thinking about yourself differently. And look, if you want to start a business, it's never been easier in the history of mankind. And it's not easy to make money, but everybody can start a business. If you are from nothing, you can start a business. Just get your mind right and start hustling. And with that, subscribe to the channel, like the video down below.